Alright people, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you'll know when I upload the next video and you'll be supporting my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Every time I upload a new video, I'll be tweeting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is UX and this is Path of Exile review sponsored by Tibet by the channel ssethtzeentach, the best free-to-play Chinese gold farming simulator of our time. This game is from 2013. Okay, another simulator which is not going to be a simulator. I don't know. I guess that's gonna be a kind of a trend. I saw, what was that? Yesterday I saw ssethtzeentach's video about cultivation simulator or something like that. It wasn't much of simulators, I guess. We'll see. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe so I know which type of videos to react to more. Check out the reaction, there's a link in the description. Check out the cards, check out the ink cards, and yeah, let's watch it.
Hey people, Seth here. Let me tell you about a game I've played on and off for years, Path of Exile. Path of Exile is a free-to-play Diablo clone action RPG and much more of a spiritual successor to Diablo 2 than free could ever be. It's made by Grinding Gear Games, a Chinese Skinner box company operating in New Zealand, a lesser-known colony of mainland China. It is, in the spirit of Diablo clones, a huge grind fest for items and money, but there's layers of complexity to keep you interested. For a start, all your skills come from gems, which come in two forms, active and support. Active gems do stuff. Support gems modify the stuff they do. These need to be socketed into items to do stuff, and linked if you want the support gems to actually affect the active gems. This leads to some creative...
And that's a trend, right? Lots of RPG type of games has that. I can't remember exactly. Is it 2 Worlds 2? Or which game? No, wait a minute. I think it's Kingdom of Amalur that has that kind of a thing. You add gems to... Yeah, it's definitely Kingdom of Amalur, right? But you do that during the crafting. You add gems and things. I like that. I don't know why I like that small thing. And crafting and alchemy, whatever, crystals and things like that. Yeah, crafting system has that kind of an element that once you progress and realize what these gems are, you can craft different type of gems, create stronger gems, infuse them with your, more advanced armor that you crafted by doing different shit, and just create a perfect, more epic and powerful armor. I don't know, the whole that system, I love it. Whenever a game has that, I always play a bit of game and then sink my time into, I guess, tweaking and shit like that.
Retarded combos, Cast on Death is a perfectly valid way to play, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. There's multiple characters to play, with their own backstory to how they ended up on the Path of Exile. Trademark, copyright. Basically, everyone who does bad shit in Oriath gets sent to Rayclast, where they'll probably die. In Exile, the Templar questioned his faith, the witch had her house burnt so she fried some boomer's kids, and the Marauder didn't meet diversity quotas. Most of the classes have good reasons for being shipped off to Rayclast. My favorite has to be the Duelist, because his entire reason for being here is
wait a minute. So noble. Oh shit. Oh, stupid power went off from earphone. I guess I'll have to use my speakers.
The reason for being here is literally some nobleman talked shit to me. So, I fucking killed him. What a guy. You can see where the inspiration came from for all the different settings. Rayclast is loosely based on New Zealand. The forests are filled with koalas who want to tear your skin off, and the beaches are filled with meth heads who want to stab you for your wallet. Your skills mix with your gear, and these in turn are influenced by your passive skill tree, which is fucking massive. Just look at this shit. Every class starts in a different spot in the tree, but all the passives are the same.
Oh, look at this shit. I got the similar feeling like this from, I guess, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I didn't play much, right? I just started it, right? It felt really bland, because Assassin's Creed has become a game that has great looking world and shit since Origin, then Odyssey, which was just amped up, the architecture, everything looks beautiful, and then you play Valhalla and everything is just like hearts and shit and just empty things. Like, nah. Yeah, they try to emphasize on raiding shit, but I didn't like that much. But still, I saw the skill tree and like, holy shit, this is kind of feels similar to that. Look at that.
same. Classes get to choose unique passives later on. This might sound very complex at first, and then you'll realize that nothing fucking matters except more life and damage. I recommend the first time you play to just do your own thing and experiment. Then, once you hit a brick wall and can't progress any further, look up one of the most meta builds for the current patch and brainlessly steamroll through the content. It's a learning experience, and there's a lot to do. Finishing the main arc of a story is just the start of Endgame, where you will autistically tweak out your character with more and more ridiculous setups until you burn out and stop playing until the next league. The classic life cycle of most Diablo clones. Or, in the case of one of my friends, finish Act 3 and tell me that the game's too short because he missed the exit leading to the other 7 acts. When asked about his build, he said, "What do you mean linking gems? I've just been using Heavy Strike. Path of Exile has a bit of a learning curve, and it's not for brainlets. But as long as you come from a civilization that's discovered fire and has some frontal lobe development, you'll be okay. Each league puts a new spin on the game mode, giving you new ways to grind, and you can choose to either play a softcore or hardcore."
Yeah, with the learning curve thing that you can miss out on things. I remember playing Fallout 3, right? First time. And obviously I have played Oblivion more. But at the time I was a kid, I didn't realize that this is the same studio and shit like that. But I've never heard of Fallout before Fallout 3. And I played that. I remember just playing the main quest and didn't do much. Like some short thing here and there. Like, oh, okay, maybe it's like open world or something like GTA or something. And I finished the game like, what the fuck was that, right? I mean, I just finished the game. Then I never touched that game, Fallout 3. I don't know, just moved on until New Vegas came, I guess 2 or so years later. Then in New Vegas, I really sank my time inside because I don't know, at the time, what was my mentality, I don't remember, but I played it like an RPG game, right? And I just saw how many side quests, the main quest is like nothing. Everything around is way too much. I realized that in New Vegas, then just dawned on me, wait a minute, it's Fallout 3 like that? Then after sinking a million hours into New Vegas, I played Fallout 3 again with DLCs. And then I realized, holy shit, I didn't play 99% of game. I only played main quest the first time. So this is the best thing about, games like this. Like you can miss out on something. You play the whole game in different way. Then I guess you realize that, wait a minute, I missed this. And you play it again and it's a replayability thing with it, right? Like, holy shit, this was in it. I didn't even realize that.
Hardcore players are, of course, the vegans of Path of Exile, and we all know there's no such thing as a quiet vegan. If you interact with a Path of Exile player, they'll either tell you that they also play and enjoy the game, or they'll start screaming incoherently that they only play hardcore, solo self-found, and that they desynced for 1 millisecond yesterday and lost their character for the 3rd time this week. As a free-to-play game, Path of Exile servers sometimes aren't the best, and you can rubber band or desync. This isn't a problem for a regular human being. Hardcore players will, however, pathologically blame everyone but themselves for dying and demand a server rollback each time it happens. This pathological behavior extends into their private life, as many of them have, unfortunately, lost custody of a kids. Siphoning alimony payments into microtransactions ensures that their spouses receive minimal support. Their children may have mandatory visitation days, but they universally hate it. One child I talked to, Timothy, was brutally beaten with a bamboo stick after he picked evasion over a health node on the passive tree.
Oh my god, this is the most extreme next level shit from Seth that I've seen so far. He just went all out. He just I guess he just started it and couldn't stop. Right? Like, I'm gonna paint the whole fucking picture who these people are. This was the best thing ever.
And you know what? He got off easy, but the game is completely free. The only money you spend on it is on microtransactions, which don't directly influence gameplay. Even if you're not interested in cosmetics, you will, sooner or later, need practical shit like extra stash tabs and specialized tabs for holding currency items. Speaking of currency, that is the primary objective of this game, obtaining currency. Unlike fiat banking systems in modern countries, the primitive people of Rayclast trade items for rocks of different colors. You can smash these rocks in your equipment, denting and changing them in the process. An Exalted Orb is one of the most valuable rocks, and many players haven't even found one. Chaos Orbs are far more common rocks, but appropriately rare enough that they're the gold standard for trading. The main point of Path of Exile isn't the creative builds, the metagame, or the challenge of getting to max level. It's trading. I sit here all day, plugged into PoeTrade, and I flip shit for hours and hours. I don't even leave my fucking hideout, which is beautiful by the way. I'm so glad I picked Haku as my master. What other master lets you place dead fish and rotting bodies on the shoreline? What other master allows you to block the entrance with shipwrecks and pointy sticks? None of them, except Haku. I'm hooked into every API. I've got that shit on live alerts. I've got PoeTrade on my phone so I can lowball people for prices on alt accounts. I try match users with known sex offender registries so I can blackmail them into selling their lore weave for cheap. I make prints of all my trades and fax them to children in Malaysia just to inspire them. I buy shit cheap and I sell it higher. Why? For what purpose? To see the numbers rise. At its heart, this is the real meaning of
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I played, what, A3? I don't even know what the game was, long time ago, an online game. The first online game I ever played. Only thing I found ever to do it is just farm for something, right? Find valuable or scam somebody out of some valuable and sell it. And all this is for in-game currency. I'm not talking about real money. Why? Because why the fuck not? That's the whole point of the game. I found myself becoming, trying to become rich in the game more than anything else. People like, okay, we're gonna hunt in parties. We're gonna create this kind of an event, this and this. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna create shop. So I become this shop kind of a guy who just was a selling shit. Even in that, right, I was scamming people because there was 8 slots, right, 4 up and 4 down, right, and I put every thing same item, all 8 of them in a shop, but I just make 6th item. I add 1 more 0 to the number, right? So anybody who has good enough money but just want that item, who just sees like, okay, this is the price, it's affordable price, just click and buy, right? When he comes to the 6th one, he's not gonna check the money, right? He's just gonna press buy, and I'm gonna sell it for 10 times more money. I don't know. This is about it. That was the best time ever.
Path of Exile. It's a cutthroat world out there, more brutal than any corporate position, but less paid and with longer hours. Do you really think you've got what it takes? Being good isn't good enough. Not when you're competing with hundreds of Russian spam bots on auto refresh. Sometimes you'll even take a holiday to the beach, but you won't be able to relax. You'll spend all your time there sending out hundreds of trade requests a minute. There is no sleep. There is no rest. Just a 24/7 Beijing grind. You often do things so fast you forget who you even messaged. Did Delve into my anus want 2C or free C for that ring? Or was that little pump suck from a minute ago? And you don't want to embarrass yourself by asking. Just act cool. Put a chisel on the table so he knows you mean business. Don't worry, he'll be back. They always come back. Trading is a wild place, and you can also hang out on the global chat while you wait, which is a great and intelligent place to be. Currently, they're discussing if it's gay to suck your homie's
This is very similar to the game I'm talking about. This is incredible.
dick, ironically. But there's one rival in my quest for capitalist domination: China. The Chinese conspiracy on Path of Exile is plain for all to see. They've grown so bold, they don't even bother hiding it. Chinese gold farmers running hundreds of bots threaten the stability of our economy. Global chat is often spammed with Chinamen with Chinese names like or asking you to go to dogfart.com to buy Exalt Orbs and Chaos Orbs for the low price of $2 or 1 cent a piece, respectively. Grinding Gear Games claims they do everything possible to stop gold farmers, but I can see through their lies like rice grains. GGG is a subsidiary of Tencent, which also owns Riot Games, and Tencent is owned by the Dalai Lama. Follow the paper trail, follow the money, and you'll find that GGG and the gold farmers are one and the same. Players will first buy currency from the Chinese orb cartel. The money is wired instantly by Western Union to the Dalai Lama, who pulls the kill switch and bans the player after several days. During those days of decadence and luxury, the player will get a taste for power, which is then cut off. Much like an addict, he craves for more exalted orbs, starts a new account, and tries to turn a new leaf, but we all know how it ends. But despite the strength of our enemies, we will trade on. That's what Path of Exile means to me. Or maybe it's my heritage speaking. I mean, we were expelled from over 200 MMOs after all. In all seriousness, Path of Exile is pretty amazing for a free-to-play product. If you like Diablo or any of its derivatives, you'll feel right at home with what I feel is a raw improvement over those old systems. However, keep in mind that Path of Exile started development centuries ago, and it's not very well optimized for your hard drive. So, if you can afford it, get an SSD and put Path of Exile on it instead. It should run like butter. The PvP arena is also really fun. Stun locking people never gets old. And remember to praise the all-holy toucan daily on global chat. A temporary chat ban is a small price to pay to see all men of the world united in worship. Very good game. It gets a high score. The score is arbitrary. As always, more content to come.
Yeah, okay. The game looks incredible, very similar to the one I played long time ago. When it comes to free-to-play game, I don't know. I mean, I've said that in some of the review reactions about free-to-play, and people kind of get, pissy about, oh, it's a free-to-play, this and that. But I don't know. I would never be completely okay with free-to-play games, right? Because they are microtransaction games, right? I mean, people say it's free to play. I mean, you don't have to buy things, but that's not how psychology works, right? I mean, adults like us basically probably can get away with not spending much money, but the games like that is usually targeted for teenagers and kids who sink way too much money into, games that are tailored in a way that, it just forces a kid mind to spend so much money. It's just like scam at certain level, right? So I would never be completely okay with free to play microtransaction gacha game or whatever they are called nowadays, right? It's just fucked up. But I guess, it's understandable. People just have this kind of a rational thing like, okay, I mean, you don't have to, invest money in, right? It's your fault, things like that. But that doesn't work with kids, right? We have to think of the broader picture here. It's not just about one person, you, an adult. But yeah, but as a free-to-play game, right, as people, for people like us who are adults, right, who can basically see things, where to spend money or not, I guess it's a really good game, right? You can spend some money here to support the developers, right? You should support the developers if you like the game. So microtransaction, spend some money here and there and play the game. But yeah, game looks good. Online games like this, you could easily have fun with that, like I said. But yeah. Alright people, that was Path of Exile review, sponsored by Tibet. Another Chinese game. I did the cultivation simulator, whatever that was yesterday. This is kind of same thing. Chinese game are kind of rising, and lots of them are really good, right? Cultivation simulator yesterday was incredible, right? Everything about that was incredible. So yeah. Right people, if you like my reaction, subscribe, check out the Rick Sandy, there's a link in the description, check out the cast, check out the cards, and yeah, I'll see you next time.